Hello all, welcome to our Bhagavad Gita Simple Understanding episode number 69. Today we'll be discussing about text 7.12 to 7.14. In the previous classes or previous shlokas, Krishna had discussed how he is present in everything, and whatever we see in this world is nothing but an emanation from him, or the basic root is coming out of him. Now going forward, today we will be discussing 3 more texts, and let's see what is going to explain further. So 7.12, ये चैव सात्विक भावा रजसस्तमसश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विधि नात्वाहं तेषु ते मयि. Whatever other entities there are born of sattva, the quality of goodness, and those that are born of rajas, the principles of activity, and tamas, the principle of inertia, know them all as a word from me alone. In reality, however, neither do I exist in them, nor do they in me. So what we understand from this is, Krishna tries to say that after explaining the whole text of the previous shlokas, one can refer what he had discussed. Basically, he discusses that is present in everything. Krishna says that all those materials are made up of only 3 items. That is, it is either made up of rajas, it is either made up of sattva guna, or it is either made up of tamas guna. Tama guna. Sattva guna means a kind of guna which is sattvic or peaceful in nature. Rajas guna is a kind of passionate in nature, which makes people to go behind things, which makes people to achieve things, which makes people to carve for things, which leads them to greed, anger, all such kinds of things. And tamas is a kind of a state or kind of a mentality or kind of a attitude which is a kind of ignorance in the sense that person would not like to do anything in this world, that living entity wants to just pass away the time, just wants to sleep, just wants to be not bothered about the world, just wants to be in ignorance. So what happens is, every living entity in this universe, including humans, are made up of these 3 gunas, and each guna has some quantity present in him. A person may have 70% of sattva guna and 30% of raja guna, or he may have 10% of tamo guna, 80% of raja guna, and 10% of sattva guna, or he may have 80% of tamo guna and 10% of raja guna, or 10% of sattva guna, in this way. So no person has full qualities, but every person will have a mixture of all these 3 qualities. That's how a human is made, or a living entity is made. Even animals do possess these qualities. Maybe in animals tamas guna is more, in humans rajas is more, and sattvic is more. So basically, sattva guna, we see the prominent people with sattva guna are like these philosophers or scientists or something like that. And rajas is like business people who are always active, want to do something, sports people. Rajasic wants to achieve something. Tamasic people are kind of the labor, they are not bothered about any achievement, they just want to do their work, leave it and finish it. So Krishna says that all the activities whatever he has explained in the previous shlokas, everything emanates from him and is made up of these 3 gunas. And he also goes on to say in the last line, in reality, however, neither do I exist in them, nor do they in me. See, one side he says that everything is coming from him. Know them all as evolved from me alone. And we continue. Next sentence he says, in reality, however, neither do I exist in them, nor do they in me. Now, how can we understand this? The best example is the curd. Now basically, curd is coming out of milk. When we keep milk and add some fermentation to it, yeast or something like that, the entire milk gets converted into curd. Now it is not wrong to say that curd is coming from milk, or milk is present in curd, but still milk is not in curd. If you can understand this analogy, you will be understanding this text, which means that curd is coming out of milk, but milk is nowhere present in curd. So curd is a byproduct of milk. So it's in a way it's constant of state in which milk is simultaneously present in curd, but at the same time not present in curd, but curd is coming from milk. So that is the way of understanding which Krishna is making the sentence, that know them all as evolved from me. That all this rajas, tamas, and sattva guna, all these three gunas are coming from Krishna, but still Krishna is not in those gunas. Krishna doesn't possess those gunas. That's what he means. Further going, 7.30. We will read out the text. Tribir gunamayir bhavair ibihi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabijanati mam ebhyah param avyayam. The whole of the creation is eluded by these objects evolved from the three modes of Prakriti, Sattva, Guna, Rajas, Tamas. That is why the world fails to recognize me, standing apart from this, the imperishable being. Now, Krishna here says that the whole world is a product of these three gunas, Rajas Guna, Tamas Guna, and Sattva Guna. And because the whole world is made up of three gunas, and the people are also made up of these three gunas, and the living entities are also made up of three gunas, they are unable to understand Krishna. That means, if we have to understand Krishna, or if we have to understand God, first we have to come out of these three gunas. Only then we can recognize His creation. Only then we can recognize His understanding. Only then we can recognize His way of work. So, this is very important. The reason why we fail to understand God, we may have some sentiments with God, we may have emotions with God. Most of us are in Rajasic mode, and we always expect something out of God, that we want this, we want that, we want this, we want to do this, please help me, I want this, I want that. We are always in the mood of asking from God, but we really don't know what God wants from us or what God is. So in this confusion, in this state of mind, we are unable to understand or make out God. So that's why he says, since we all are made up of these three gunas, we fail to recognize the maker of the universe. We fail to recognize that each and every activity which is happening is because of his involvement. Each and every blade of grass is moving only because of his direction. That we are unable to understand because we are caught up in this gunas. And how to understand God, how to come out of these gunas, because Krishna is saying this, unless we come out of these three gunas, we can't understand him. Krishna is also going to speak about it in the next shloka, where he explains how to understand him. So that is, Daivi Isha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Mitam Tarantite. For this most wonderful Maya of mine, consisting of the three gunas, modes of nature, is extremely difficult to break through. Those, however, who constantly adore me alone are able to cross it. Now, Krishna says, what is the problem in this world? Why are we confused? Why are we suffering? Why are we caught up in a web? Web is nothing but this spider web. Okay, so why are we caught up in this, and why are we are unable to come out of this? Basically, we have this so many questions. No? I have this problem, I have this issue, I have this thing to do, I have that thing to do, I want to come out of it, I am unable to come out of it. That is all on the physical nature. After this, one understands, I don't want anything, he takes up sannyasa, he takes up the process of renunciation, but still his mind is stuck. So that is how Krishna says that this whole world, which is made up of these three gunas, whatever we see, the beautiful houses, the beautiful palaces, the beautiful creation, the beautiful nature, the beautiful things, not only the beautiful things, the ugly things, the ugly sufferings, the ugly nature, the ugly earthquakes, the ugly cold, the ugly heat, the ugly sun, the heat which we get. All these are again made up of these three gunas, and we are unable to come out of it. One thing is, everyone wants peace, but nobody wants to work for that peace, how to come out of that peace. So, in the previous shloka, Krishna explained, to come out of this confusion or Maya, you have to come out of these three gunas. And Krishna says that this is a Maya, the three gunas, Rajaguna, Tamasguna, Satvaguna is Maya, and to come out of that Maya is very difficult, is extremely difficult. However, only the people who constantly adore me, Mameva Prapadyante, Mayam Tarantite, Mayametam Tarantite, means only people who adore him, who worship him, who think of him, who try to understand him, only they are able to cross over this world of Maya. Now, prapadyante, mameva prapadyante, mayam etam tarantite, who constantly adore me. Now, Krishna is also in various Puranas, various scriptures, has given the process of adoring him. There are 9 different steps of adoring Krishna or Lord. Nava Bhakti, this is called Navavida Bhakti. It starts from listening to his glories, singing his glories, chanting his glories. Glories in the sense is stories, is names, reading about him, understanding about him, working for him, doing activities for him. So these all include adoring him. Adoring him just doesn't mean that saying that I love Venkateshwara, I love Krishna, I love Rama, and doing all nonsense, going to the world and doing all nonsense. No, Krishna has laid the procedure also. He has explained, if you go through all the Puranas, in various Puranas, through various scriptures, through various sages, through various gurus, Krishna has explained how to adore him, how to understand him, how to love him. Once our mind is involved in Krishna, slowly this Maya of the three gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, Tamaguna, we can pass, we can transpass, and then understand the reality. Once we understand the reality, we will be able to go back to him. That is the Vaikuntha Loka. So, the whole Bhagavad Gita, now after understanding about the 6 to 7 chapters, we are coming into a stage where Krishna is entering into Bhakti Yoga. He is explaining how to love him. Now we are loving so many things which are all temporary, and here is giving a hint how to love God or how to love him, adore him. So adoration, to develop adoration to him. Once we start developing adorations to him, we slowly start losing interest in the material world, and then when we are established fully, we start liking him, and we pass over these 3 gunas, Rajaguna, Sattva Tamaguna. That's how we can be liberated. So we will be ending the class today. So we have taken the teachings from Tattva Vivechani from Gita Press. So thank them also. I am ending the class. Thank you very much.